SpinTouch's latest temperature thermometer kiosk, which is the RapidScreen version 3. Here we're going to be unboxing and going through the installation guide. First, let's go ahead and open the box and see what's included. Everything's well packaged and organized to make the setup process as easy as possible. We're going to go ahead and pull out the RapidScreen temperature device here. It's got the display and the temperature thermal sensor at the top with the cables. We'll put that to the side. On the right side, you'll see 4 different poles, and the threading is a little bit different on each of them. So take note of that. We'll go through and make sure we're putting them into the correct location when we're installing the stand. The nice thing is these poles will allow us, gives us flexibility on the size if we do want to get a smaller kiosk. When we remove the first layer, we'll reveal another pole here. This is the head unit, goes with that. And then you've got the power cable. You've also got a power extension cable. You've got an extension cable that pulls out all of the necessary connection ends, as well as an end cable that has all of the access control as well as some of the USB connections. This is a top adjustment. Here we have the thermal hood, which will improve in a lot of scenarios the temperature readings. This is an optional thermal cover if you ever remove the thermal sensor. Removing the final foam, we reveal the floor base, which is a very large, heavy aluminum piece here. And then underneath that, you'll notice a large nut that attaches to the final pole. First, we'll go ahead and start by taking the floor base, and we're going to take one of the poles, which is the pole with the longest thread. The threading should be about twice as long as all the other threads. And you're going to place it in the middle of the hole there, and you're going to take the large nut and screw it on. And it shouldn't be too difficult. You're going to tighten it as tight as possible to make sure it's very secure on there. Now we'll take the extension cable, the large, long extension cable, and the end connection where it has all the connections, and we'll connect those two together. They're color coded as well as specific sizes, so you can't really make a mistake. They really go one way, and you should be able to match them up fairly easily. There's a small, a medium, and a large connection that will hook together like so. And then once you have that, you're going to take the other end, and we're going to go ahead and fish it through the bottom of the base plate like so. We're going to just kind of keep going through until we get all the way up to the connectors on the other side. From here, you're going to pull the access control cables that have the green connections through the hole first. As you can see, I'm going over that little thicker part of the cable. It's very important you put them in individually so that they can fit. If you have trouble doing this, you can always remove the quick connection ends on those. Those are the green connections. Finally, you're going to push the Ethernet cable in there as well. The goal here is to just have the USB and the power coming out of that opening, just the very ends of them. And from there, you're going to connect the extension cable for the power. Go ahead and take the extension cable and pass it through the notch opening on one of the sides, and then place it on the ground. Be sure it's not wobbling, it's completely flat on the ground. You can test it, press it on each side. If it's not, you can lift it up and just readjust the cables. Now from here, you'll place the base unit on the floor. You'll take the extension cable and fish it through the other pole, and you're gonna just twist on the pole to the first one. You'll now go ahead and repeat the same process on the third pole by fishing the extension cable in and screwing on the pole onto the second. For the fourth pole, you're going to take the one that has a notch on the one side of it and threads on the other. You'll go on the thread side down and fish the cable through and screw in like you've done before. Now we will take the head unit cables and pass them through this final pole. It's a little bit smaller than the rest of them. We're going to go ahead and fish them through the connections, and then on the other side there's a big opening gap that the connection to the head unit goes and fits through. From here, take the top screw, screw it into the top like so. From here, you're going to go ahead and connect the cables from the head unit to the floor stand cables that are popping out. The tolerances are very, very tight. However, you should be able to connect them, provided that you didn't have a lot of slack at the bottom of the base. If you need additional cabling, feel free to reach out to us. Once you've got the cables connected, you'll press them to go through the opening. Now it's about matching up the two protruding circles with the notch on the other pole, and you just need to align it perfectly horizontally. Just press firmly and the two poles should meet and connect. If you ever need to disconnect, it should take about 30 pounds of force to do so. Just be very cautious of the cables inside. To improve performance and accuracy, we've included the thermal sensor hood, which helps avoid some direct lighting conditions, especially overhead lighting. Just press on with the double-sided adhesive. To adjust the angle of the thermal sensor and the screen, go ahead and untighten the screw at the top of the pole, and then angle and once again tighten up again. From there, it should be a fixed and tight position. And finally, you'll go ahead and connect the extension cable to the power connection and connect to the wall, and you should be ready to scan. Also, if your display or your thermal sensor has any screen protector or film on it, be sure to remove it for best performance. To access the back-end system, you can either connect a mouse and right-click, or touch and hold the top left corner of the screen. We also strongly suggest anytime you're setting up for the first time or changing the location of the unit to calibrate the device, and there's a quick start guide to walk you through that process. If you require any additional support or have questions during your installation process, feel free to reach out to our technical team via email support@spintouch.com. Thank you.